Droubay. Welcome to the latest webcast in Caring.com's Digital Marketing Academy. Our session today is focused on helping skilled nursing facilities or nursing homes manage their online reputation to attract new customers. I'm Denise Grob, a marketing director here at Caring.com, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Peter Droubay, who I'll introduce in more depth in just one moment. Before we dive into the presentation, I want to cover a few housekeeping items. This is a one-way webcast where only the presenters speak. However, we definitely want you to ask questions. You can do so at any time during the presentation using the question module or the chat module, and we'll have a Q&A at the end of the session. One of the most common questions we get in most of our webinars is this being recorded? The answer is yes. Second most popular question we get is, can I have the slides afterward? The answer is yes. We're going to send you both the recording and the slides via email tomorrow morning, and we publish the recording and slides for our webinars on our partner blog as well. So you can listen carefully. If you want to take lots of furious notes, go ahead, but we will definitely be providing you the slides and recording afterward as well. Now, our featured presenter is Peter Droubay. We are so thrilled to have him on the Caring.com team. Some of you may even be familiar with him, given his extensive experience in the senior care industry. He helped to build both the Seniors Choice and Hallmark Home Care, two organizations through which he trained hundreds of home care franchises nationwide. He was also one of the original trainers of Caring.com's team of family advisors, making referrals to senior living communities. In fact, Peter is a renowned trainer in sales and marketing. He has tons of experience in sales in particular. He has a proven track record of success, and he's a wealth of practical knowledge. Besides being a phenomenal professional and highly skilled, he's also just an all-around great guy. He listens to good music, as you heard at the beginning of this session, and we're just so thrilled to have him on the team, as I mentioned. I'm also going to be presenting some information today about our online reviews program. I'm Denise Grob. I've been with Caring for over 10 years. I'm Director of Industry Marketing, and I've helped create and manage our reviews program during my entire tenure at Caring.com. I created our Caring Stars Award, and I have 25 years background in communication and marketing. So both Peter and I are looking forward to sharing insights with you. Here's what we're going to cover. Peter's going to provide a state of the industry, and then we're also going to discuss how optimizing your online profile and enhancing how you're represented online can help your skilled nursing facility, why online reviews are very important. We'll give you a little bit of insider information on our inquiry screening process so you can understand how that works, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. All right, without further ado, I'm going to hand off the remote control to Peter.
All right. Thank you very much, Denise, and it is a pleasure. I'm always a little self-conscious during introductions, especially since, boy, we need to update my picture. I got a little gray in my temples as I was looking at my picture, and I'm thinking, if you're looking online right now, I'm thinking, is that the same guy? I'm a lot of fun in dating sites, which I don't date through sites. I'm happily married, but you know, everybody posts a younger picture, and I guess I need to update that because my hair's gotten a little gray since then. Anyways, with that in mind, let's kick this off. Welcome. I'm excited to talk with you today. I'm excited to share with you some developments at Caring.com. We have long since been very powerful in many different areas of the market for seniors, especially in assisted living, independent living, memory care. We do a lot with home care, and we've done a little bit we've had some clients in the skilled nursing arena for many years, but really have not made it a focus, but it is becoming more so, as you'll see, because of some of what's happening online and some of the traffic that we're getting and all the things that Caring.com is doing. And we're very excited to share that with you and to partner with you. And in really serving the marketplace in a way that benefits everyone, that increases your census, that attracts the right people to you. And so we're excited about sharing with you some information today. We hope that as you go through this, that you take it for what it is, us trying to share information. We certainly want to present our services, and we invite you to engage with us in any way possible and ask questions, contact us afterwards. Let's put our heads together and see what we can do to serve the marketplace effectively. All right, let me see if I can get this moving forward. There we go. There we go. So here's what we're after today. We want to help you share some ideas for how to manage your online reputation and your image and ultimately improve your census. That is ultimately our offer to you today, is we want to help you to do both, to increase that image, to increase your online reputation, and ultimately to attract more people to you. And the way that we propose to do that is to take a look at what's happening in the industry. And we see this a lot. You see this a lot. I don't think I'm going to share with you anything that's brand new. If you're in the industry, you know that things have changed a lot over the last little bit, especially, this last year. We've seen some big changes with everything going on with COVID in our society. But even prior to that, there were some momentous changes happening that will continue to happen because of demographics. There are increasing options for care out there, more specialization and more competition. If you've been in skilled nursing for a while, you know that more and more skilled nursing opportunities have opened up. I say opportunities because they fall under all categories, right? We have people just specializing in one type of skilled nursing. We have, post-acute, subacute, transitional care. We have, rehab. We have all sorts of different things that are going on with different labels and different ways of attracting clients and saying, we're for you. There's much more, many more options and much more competition. But the traditional referral sources that we all used to rely on when I first got into senior care, we didn't do any advertising, right? We, maybe a little bit, Yellow Pages or something like that. But the bottom line is we went out and we networked in the community, as I'm sure most of you are used to doing. You go out and you talk to everybody that deals with seniors. You see them all at the same networking events. You talk to them all. You become best friends with every doctor in town and every discharge planner in town and every person that deals with seniors on any level. You get to know everybody, and everybody works with each other to try and take care of the seniors in our communities. But that's becoming tougher and tougher, right? You know that case managers, social workers, discharge planners, and everybody else in the industry has become increasingly busy, especially this last year. Hospitals and healthcare corporations are also increasingly integrated vertically, meaning that they own their own establishments, their own skilled nursing facilities and homes and every variant in the scale. And consequently, a lot of the best referrals, or most of their referrals, or all their referrals, or who gets on their list is limited sometimes to just who's in their network, right? And so it's becoming tougher and tougher to get those external referrals flowing. Obviously, COVID-19 has further interrupted access to all of these referral sources. It's become very tough all our traditional networking events aren't happening in the same way. I know we do it online. I know we're doing a webinar right now, and we're all getting used to Zoom and all the other services, right? But the bottom line is it's not the same as it used to be in terms of going and connecting with people. And we hope that comes back. We hope it comes back soon. We're praying for that. But at the same time, the world has changed in some fundamental ways because of this. But simultaneous to all this happening, we have another trend that's running opposed to it, right? It's running across that same trend, and that is that consumers and their families are increasingly aware of their options. It used to be that, whatever the doctor tells me or whatever the discharge planner at the hospital, tells me to do, I do. But families and consumers are becoming increasingly aware of different options. Some might say they're becoming increasingly cynical or increasingly suspicious or increasingly whatever, right? But we all know that this is a trend that even if a doctor prescribes a medication, what does half the population do before they're even out of the doctor's office? And you're right, they Google it, right? And doctors will tell you, you might have even had this experience. is when you recommend something, people will Google it and then walk back in and argue with you about it, about whether it's the right recommendation or not. And that's just the state of the world that we're in. You do it, I do it, we all do it, right? We all use this powerful tool of the internet to go looking, and we're increasingly aware that there are options, and families are increasingly aware. If they're not happy in one location, if they're not happy in one home, they are increasingly looking for the other options that are out there. And part of that has been spurred on this last year because of fear, right? Fear among seniors and their families due to the recent pandemic. There's a lot of concern. We see it every day. We get people calling us every day saying, you know, my mother is currently at a particular nursing home and we're trying to move her, or we're trying to bring her home, or we're trying to do whatever. And it's purely out of the fear, right? There's nothing impending that they know of, but they're afraid. They're afraid because of the news, and they're afraid because of the pandemic. And so they're going online and they're looking. Plus we have younger generations, right? And we have a very transient society where kids have moved away. They don't live in the same place as their seniors, and they use the internet to compensate for that. So if mom, you know, has wound up in the hospital and now she's being discharged into a nursing home of one level or another, or rehab, for instance, she's rehabbing somewhere. The bottom line is that her children and grandchildren will often jump online from across the country and seek to help mom out in the best way that they know how, right? Mom and grandma, we're going to find you the best option. So they go online. And all of this is creating a situation where Google kind of rules the world, in the sense of everybody's looking at Google and they're looking at options. And because of that, we're creating, there's much more opportunity for people to make choices, as they always have been able to, but we see it happening more and more. And part of that is that we see it happening more and more, meaning that we're in the business of providing information online. Those of you that aren't aware, we talk to this quintessential shopper every single day, right? We call her Mary. You could call her Susan or Nancy or any of the baby boomer names, right? But it's soon to change to the Gen Xer names and eventually to the millennial names. We all know that this is the avatar. This is the person that we're after, because this is ultimately who makes the final decisions about where mom resides, temporarily or long-term. It's made by people like her. She's the adult daughter and or daughter-in-law, and sometimes sons, but we all know that the women in our society take charge of the most important things, right? And that a lot of these decisions are made by the daughters. But this adult daughter is very different from a generation ago. They're very busy, first of all. They usually are working full-time. They are part of that sandwich generation that we all talk about, hear about, and experience. Many of us are part of that sandwich generation, meaning we're sandwiched between older children still at home, teenagers and young adults, and we're sandwiched between taking care of them and taking care of seniors. And so we're very busy on both ends of that care spectrum, plus we're working full-time. And therefore, we don't do a lot until forced to do it, usually by a medical situation. And when Mary gets prompted by this medical situation, this emergency, she's stressed, she's a little confused, she's pressed for time, but she knows how to handle this because this is what she does, right? She does this at work, she does this at home. She's very educated, very independent compared to her predecessors, and frankly, a little cynical sometimes. She's the one that questions whether the doctor's prescription is always correct. She's the one that Googles everything that people tell her just to make sure that it's right. And so she does her research before calling. She goes online, she looks for what is out there, and I'll tell you, she's looking at different things than a generation ago or even 10 years ago used to look at. Number one thing she's looking at, we're going to talk about it. Denise is our expert on consumer reviews for senior care. Mary looks at consumer reviews, right? It's what she sees. She wants to see, what do other people say about you? So we're going to talk a lot about using that today for your benefit. She does not always trust individual websites, by the way. She assumes that you're trying to sell her, that your website is geared towards presenting the best image. And so that's why she looks back to the reviews, or she looks to third-party sites, sites that she deems to be impartial because it's a third-party site like our sites. And she winds up, if she's talking to anybody for advice, she winds up talking to those third-party advisors, such as our team of family advisors. So this is who we're after. This is who's making a lot of the decisions when there is a change in movement in people, when they're making choices that affect your census. ultimately, this is who's making that choice most of the time. Certainly some seniors make the choice, but it's often in correlation with their family members. Usually the adult daughter, the adult children are the drivers here. So the big question that we need to ask ourselves is, if we're in the industry and the industry is allowing for a lot more movement, we're seeing a lot more movement and people moving in, people moving out, our census changing more dramatically than it ever has. What do we do to affect that? How do we put ourselves in front of Mary here, or Nancy or Susan or whoever it is, right? How do we put ourselves in front of her in a way that helps her make that decision? And specifically, there's a couple ways in which we want to help that to happen. First of all, if she's looking for options, often she's out there looking for a change of venue, or she's looking for options to even start with, right? She's been told that mom needs to go to a nursing facility of one sort or another, and she's not so certain about that. Again, she's a little cynical. So she goes looking for initial options to decide on her own where mom is going to go. When that's the case, we want you to be seen by her in a positive light so that she's choosing you. But there's another part of this that's so important, and that is, if her parent or relative has already been referred to you, if they're already even a resident with you, if they're already a patient in your community, your home or facility, we want to inspire confidence when she checks you out online. When mom picks up the phone and talks to her daughter who may be across the country and says, I'm in this nursing home and I don't know so much about it, and mom goes online to check you out, what is she going to find? Is that going to prompt her to move mom? Or is it going to prompt or inspire the confidence that says, no, mom, you're in a great place, right? That's what we want to help create for you. And the bottom line is that there's 3 ways that we can help you to do that. And I'm going to cover each one of these ways, 3 steps you need to take, if you will. So we do this, first of all, by building what's called an enhanced listing for you in the caring.com directory. We're going to talk about that. I'll share with you what that does for you and why it's so important. Then we're going to talk about helping you to increase the number of online reviews and how to manage your online reputation. Like I just said, that's almost the most important thing. Obviously, you need a listing to attach your reviews to. So, it's the cart before the horse type of thing. But once you have a good listing, the reviews are paramount, because that's what she's looking at. She doesn't trust people she doesn't trust you, honestly. I don't mean that it's you personally. She doesn't trust anybody that is part of the business that she's trying to evaluate. So consequently, she's looking to say, what do other people say about you? And that's where the consumer reviews come in. We'll talk more about that as we get to it here. And then obviously, once you put yourself on the internet, you open yourself up to lots and lots of stuff. So we have a whole operation that screens inquiries to save you time, so that you get people getting through to you that are actually the people that you want to talk to. So let's talk about each one of these and talk about where the internet is going these, and some tips that you can take and things that you can start doing immediately, along with what Caring can do to help you. All right, let's get this to advance here. There we go. All right, so let's start with number 1. Let's talk about building an enhanced listing in the caring.com directory. The first thing you need to understand is that the caring.com directory is not just putting yourself on one website. No matter how large the website is, there's a lot more to it. Whoops, there we go. And it just advanced. There we go. So
Sorry about that.
that's okay. So
Are you where you need to be?
I am where I need to be.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So let's start with caring.com. So we are the #1 senior care resource online. I'll show you more about that in just a moment. But here's the thing to understand is it's not just one website. Caring.com actually owns quite a number of websites that we've either built or acquired. There's about a dozen URLs. Some of the biggest, we own seniorhousingnet.com, we own senioradvice.com, we own assistedliving.org, we own payingforseniorcare.com, senior homes. Again, the list goes on. There's quite a number of sites that we own. We also are affiliated with, we have a couple dozen affiliates that either send their inquiries through us or they white label our directory on their site. Probably the biggest or most well-known one is US News and World Report. They have a whole senior section if you go on their website. And when you search in that directory on their site, you're actually searching in our directory. It's actually white labeled for them. So we do that a lot. And so we spread across the net. Having a listing in our directory actually puts you in a lot of different places. We're also #1 in senior care reviews, over 250,000 reviews published and counting. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. Denise will shed some more light on that. We have a whole team of family advisors that are highly skilled, highly trained, that talk to, we get 100,000 inquiries virtually every month, and lots of information on our site. Okay, we'll go to the next slide here. Here's what's happening in the online market right now in terms of search engine optimization, visibility. On the vertical side, you've got the keywords that sites rank for. Across the bottom or the horizontal scale, you've got what's called search visibility, the number of times you show up in searches for people. As you can see, caring.com obliterates the market. We own the internet in this area, right? Search visibility, we're 2 or 3 times the nearest site. We have one other competitor. It's A Place for Mom. Most of you know the term. If not, you may even be partnered with them at times. So the bottom line is that we're far and away, we rank much higher for both keywords, and our search visibility turns up very, very high. But you can see everything in green are sites that we own. And so all the other sites also rank, and those directory listings also show up quite a bit. Now, I did a recent search just to give you some impact on this. I searched 3 different cities just to show you what we found. And before we get to that, let me show you the numbers here. Yeah, Denise, if you can advance it. It's not advancing very well for me, so okay. There we go. So just in the last quarter, first of all, we get a tremendous amount of traffic for nursing home terms. Skilled nursing, nursing home is one of the most popular terms. And the bottom line is that just in the last quarter, on a monthly basis, average monthly basis, we had over 206,000 people every single month looking at sessions on our site that were nursing home related. They had searched for nursing homes, wound up on our site. That's 206,000 people per month looking. In our directory, we had over 3,200 form fills, meaning they filled out a form asking for information, asking people to contact them about nursing homes or nursing, skilled nursing in general. And we got over 4,300, almost 4,400 calls, direct dials of the phone calling into our call center, asking for advice on nursing homes, nursing care. Now, part of this is because we rank so highly. Again, I did a search in 3 different markets here. And if we'll go to the next slide, I'll show you each of these 3 markets was pretty impressive this last week. So I searched in Miami, Florida, just looking at different extremes in the country. I thought, well, let's go down southeast, Miami. Turns out if I search nursing homes in Miami, it turns out caring.com shows up as the top 2 listings in Google. If you go down to number 5, senior advice is also our directory and our site, and it shows up in the 5th place. And then I told you US News is an affiliate of ours. They white label our directory, and they showed up in the number 9 spot there, number 8 spot, I guess. So the bottom line is that 4 of the top 10 listings were ours. If you go to the next page, I did the same thing in Brooklyn, New York, went up northeast, same thing, 4 out of the top 10. In this case, we had Caring, US News, Senior Advice was there, and assistedliving.org was popping up for nursing home terms. Again, this is searching nursing home in these areas. And then one more, we did San Mateo, California, going out to the West Coast, same thing, right? Caring was in the top 2 spots, Senior Advice, and Paying for Senior Care, another site that is part of our directory, shows up in the 10th spot. So as you know, searching on Google, when people search for terms, they wind up searching based on terms in a location, either terms near them or terms for the city name. And ultimately you get the top 10 rankings by Google, the natural rankings, they call them, the search engine optimized rankings. And we wind up being heavily in there. Now, we have not in the past made it a concerted effort. We've been primarily focused on the non-medical help, assisted living, independent living, et cetera. But we're getting such huge volume, and we've had partners for a while in the nursing home space, but we are now expanding on this volume and beginning to partner with more people because we have a ton of volume that we need to direct in the right places to help the seniors and to help you. So we'll go to the next slide here. On our site, we have 2 different types of listings. We have what's called a basic listing, and then we have an enhanced listing. Now, it's analogous to the old phone book, and I am assuming that most of you on the line are old enough to remember phone books. That's not a disparaging comment, hopefully. So a lot of my millennial children, my young adult children, aren't quite even sure about phone books. I think they might have seen one or two, but I don't think they've ever done a search in a phone book. Most of us have, and we know that in the old yellow pages, right, they used to list everybody. The phone book would list everybody. And we attempt to do the same thing. It's just a public service. We attempt to just be a good listing of all resources for seniors. So if we know you exist, we'll put you in there. It's free, and we just put you in there. But it's what we call a basic listing. Just like the old telephone book had a one line, basically, your name and your location. That was about it, right? Well, we do the same thing. So down the middle of the page, you can see what basic listings look like. They have the name. There's an address there, right? So people can see what's in their area. And so this is under nursing homes, for instance. We have a whole category on our site for skilled nursing or nursing homes or, skilled nursing facilities. And searching in there, this is what the basic listings look like. If you click on it to the right, what you get on a basic is there's a stock photography. There's not much else in terms of info because we don't have a whole lot of info. And then around it, just like the old yellow pages, if you had a basic listing in there, it was great, but all around you, there were ads for people that had partnered with the yellow pages. They had quarter page and half page and inline ads, etc. Same thing happens here. If we don't know much about you, we list you, and that's a free public service, free to you. But again, when people click on you and we don't know anything more about you, then they have ads around you that they can click on to get more information about other options. Now, the enhanced listing is very different, right? If we'll flip to the next slide, our enhanced listing is night and day in the sense that you get to customize your enhanced listing with a ton of stuff. So first of all, enhanced listings rise to the top of the list. So we rank communities based on a couple factors. The reviews matter, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. But what matters first is, are you enhanced or are you basic? The enhanced ones go at the top. And then reviews come into play thereafter for the location. Now, when you click on an enhanced listing, what you get is a completely different experience. It's almost like its own little mini website within the structure of our listings, in the sense that you get to put multiple pictures in. You get to choose the pictures, and you give us the pictures to upload and make sure that you've got good representation in terms of pictures. What does the outside look like? What do rooms look like? What does dining look like? Whatever else you want to put in there, you can put excellent pictures in, and pictures are huge. In fact, Google will tell you that what people are clicking on the most these days are reviews and pictures, right? So the better the pictures you have online in different places like our directory, the better off you'll be, because that's what Google pulls to show those pictures for you when they do the listing summaries. So make sure you got good pictures in your listing on caring.com. You get to put in an extensive description, and that it's not just a written, paragraph form description. You can put that in, but it's there's all sorts of categories and bullet lists and things you offer, right? Ranging from types of rooms and meals and everything else. There's all sorts of bullet lists you can offer. There's a whole Q&A section where you can answer common questions that people have and make sure that that's up there. We have all sorts of amenities lists that you can fill out and make sure that people know what's on site, what you do that's unique and special. And most importantly, there's no other ads, right? When people click on you, they don't see any other ads. Now, by the way, some people come in through our normal directory listings, right? The ranked order of the directories. A lot of people come directly to your listing for a couple reasons. Number one is the listing itself will begin to rank on Google and some of the other search engines. Also, the reviews, which we'll talk about in a moment, begin to rank as well. And a lot of people are looking specifically at the reviews first. So they'll click in and go right to your listing. They won't even see the list of other agencies on our site or the list of other nursing homes on our site. They'll go simply right to your listing. And so you want to make it look good. You want to make sure that it's a really nice listing and presentable. We offer that for our enhanced partners. So if we'll move on to the next slide here. We also, part of keeping that up to date is we want you to keep it up to date. You get access to, we have a senior living portal for all of our partners where they can go in and update and change a whole bunch of things on their listing, the descriptions, all that kind of stuff. Pictures, right? We can help you get new pictures in every so often if you'd like. There's all sorts of things that we can help you do. You can do yourself right in the portal, or we have a whole partner success team that will get things up, within 24 hours. We get things that you've requested changed or updated on your site. So if you want to put in fall pictures versus spring pictures, or winter pictures versus summer pictures, you can do that. And you want to keep it up to date and keep, if you have differences in offerings, or if you change the focus and scope, or if you put, what's happening lately, what are you doing to ward off COVID and all those kinds of things, you can put that in here as things that you can update on a constant basis. Okay. And then the last, I guess, question here, and that's the first thing that we, I guess, need to pique your interest with, is what will be Mary's impression, this person that's out there searching, right, wanting to know what's the best option for my mother. What will her impression be of your skilled nursing facility when she sees your current listing in our directory? Because just ranking wise, she's going to Google nursing homes, or she's going to Google any number of other terms. She's going to wind up seeing our sites and clicking on them because she wants to read the articles. She wants to look at all the listings. She's going to wind up seeing your listing on our website often before she'll ever see your website. So step number one is to get yourself enhanced in our directory. And I'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes. But step number one is to make sure that you appear everywhere this way. It used to be that what we did was we ran around, got ourselves on every referral list, right? Every discharge planner has behind the desk a list of referral people. We used to make sure that we were on those lists everywhere in town. Well, those lists have now moved online. You still want to get on the ones that they have at whatever community or facility it is. But the bottom line is now where a lot of these people are going, where Mary's going, is online. You want to make sure that you appear in all of those lists. Caring.com controls many of those lists across the internet through our various websites. So step number one is to enhance your listing in our directory. Now, once you do that, now you're in the driver's seat for creating what is perhaps the most important aspect. Obviously, like I said, the horse has to come before the cart. You need a listing first. But then the most important thing for Mary's decision-making is the reviews. So Denise is our resident expert. She downplayed her bio a little bit, but she's been in the industry for quite some time now. She's been with Caring.com for,
over 10 years.
Yeah, over 10 years. I was about to say a decade or more, and then that almost made you sound old, and I didn't want to make you sound old. She's a young, vibrant person, but she's a very expert in online reviews. She began the online reviews program here, is still, the champion of it, and began our Caring Stars Award. Just has a long list of kudos to her name. So let me turn it over to Denise, and she'll talk about the power of online reviews and how to cultivate an online image that will serve you well in increasing census.
Thank you so much, Peter. And before I get started, I just want to answer a question, the number one question we always get. Will this presentation be recorded and the slides available afterward? The answer is yes. We will be making both the slides and the recording available afterward. And the answer is yes, we have both directories for assisted living and nursing homes as standalone as well. So I just want to make sure that got answered. Now, let's talk about how online reviews are impacting the success of your skilled nursing occupancy and how you can harness this opportunity for reviews management on Caring.com. In the early years of our reviews program, I recall some industry executives didn't think that this trend of consumers posting online feedback about products and services would apply to senior care. It's just restaurants, it's just shoes, it's just those other industries being affected by this. I also heard that baby boomers and seniors weren't likely to post or use online reviews when they were considering senior care. Neither is the case. This simply has not happened. In fact, our industry is not immune from online reviews. Your customers are definitely reading and posting online reviews. In fact, search engine marketing firm Bright Local has surveyed online consumers in the US for over 5 years. I follow their data closely. It's available publicly. You don't have to take my word for it. I can send you a link to this study. All you have to do is contact reviews@caring.com afterward, and I'll get this data in your hands. Every study in recent years, they have found that the vast majority of people nowadays will trust an online review as much as a personal recommendation. That is some powerful information. I'll say it again. Consumers are trusting the online reviews as much as the recommendations they're getting from friends and families and professionals offline. Bright Local also splices the data by demographics. And what they have found is US adults age 55 and older, 71% are reading online reviews when they're researching local businesses. And they're reading an average of 7 reviews before they trust pursuing that business. And more surprisingly, in my opinion, is that they found half of US adults age 55 plus won't use a business that has an overall average rating less than 4 stars. That's very compelling data for you to consider and ideally use to take action to ensure that your happy customers are posting their feedback about your business online. Now, if you're hoping and praying that prospective clients and their family members aren't going to see any negative reviews about your skilled nursing facility, I'm sorry, you're going to have to think again about that. Even if the seniors and their family members get a recommendation from a doctor, hospital discharge planner, friend, or family for a specific nursing home, most are still going online. They're going to Google the name of that business and they're going to read reviews about that specific business. And search engines like Google and online directories like Caring are prominently displaying those reviews as a standard part of the search results, given how important this feedback has become. And it's helping businesses rank higher and stand out in search results, not only on Caring, but on Google as well. We know that consumers click the listings in the results that have reviews, and they flat out skip those that don't. And Google, they also release publicly data that says consumers are clicking on pictures, reviews, and directions more so than the business website. So those are the top 3 sticky points, if you will, for the consumer who's looking online. And I have circled here the reviews around the web module. Google recognizes the importance of online reviews so much that they are displaying to visitors to search engines not only reviews on their site, but reviews on other sites as well. And because Caring is the #1 site for senior care reviews online and has been for a decade, we're a trailblazer in this area, we appear often in the very first slot of that module, and it links directly to that business listing, whether that business is partnered with us or not. Reviews on our site are displayed publicly, so real important here. And as I mentioned, partner listings in our directory will rank highest in the search results, and it's the number of reviews moves you higher up on the ranking as well. And the basic or non-partner listings rank lowest. And one way you can compete online with the larger skilled nursing chains, if you need to, is by getting a volume of positive customer reviews on your Caring listing to ensure that you rank high and you leave a positive impression on anyone considering skilled nursing in your area. You'll also want to aim for our Caring Stars Award. I'm going to explain that a little bit more in a moment, but that too shows in the search results, and we've watched consumers on our website. We have some software that enables us to do that. We have watched them go straight to those listings that have that badge in the search results. They are drawn to it. It is a quality measure, and that is a Service Excellence Award, and we provide information to consumers about what it means. So getting that award also helps you stand out in search results. Now, let me give you an analogy that may help further explain the importance of online reviews if I have been failing to do so up to this point. It used to be fairly common practice, you know, for a consumer considering your business to drive by your location to get a sense of whether or not they wanted to learn more, inquire within, if you will, or take a tour. Think of reviews as the new drive-by. In the modern marketplace, your new resident and their family is perusing your online reputation first before checking into your brick and mortar. They can now go online, take a look at pictures and reviews, and either keep you in their consideration list or move on to your competitors doing a better job with their online reputation. You don't want to get left out of that initial online drive-by. It's being done so more than offline drive-bys, and Google even says that consumers nowadays are making 90% of their buying decision before they've even spoken to the business. So you really need to put some attention on your online reputation and your online profile. So how do you get reviews on the #1 senior care reviews site? Every listing in our directory has a write a review link, which is a custom review submission form just for that listing. This is actually the fastest, easiest way for your customers to add a review to our site. We typically process these submissions within 3 business days. And what's great is you can share the direct link to the submission form so the consumer doesn't have to go hunting around. They don't have to go read any of the other reviews. They can go straight to adding their feedback. And just keep in mind that caring.com, unlike most review sites on the web, has highly trained senior care experts who read every single review submission before it's published. We have high integrity guidelines for what we publish and don't publish. We're familiar with HIPAA. We know the difference between skilled nursing and independent living. And after a decade in this space, we're also very good at sniffing out the fake reviews, whether they're positive or negative. And these are just some of the ways that our reviews program has a high level of credibility and trustworthiness. So for you, you want to ask your cognitively healthy senior clients and their family members who are comfortable online and have an email address to use this link to submit a review. I'm going to talk about some other ways for the folks who aren't comfortable online that we offer our partners in just a moment. For all reviews on partner listings, we send an instant new review alert that lets them know they've gotten a new review. It includes quick links to either contest the review, request removal, or publish a response. And that puts those requests into our highest priority processing queues, typically handled within hours, but at most within 1 to 2 business days. And also, for those of you who aren't partnered with Caring, you can still respond to reviews on Caring, but you're going to have to monitor manually your listing to see when new reviews are posted. You're going to have to email reviews@caring.com. We're also integrated with reputation.com. For those of you who are aware of that service, we've been integrated with them for a while. That's another way to respond to reviews on our site. Now, I know this is skilled nursing, and some of you are out there perhaps biting your nails saying, I'm afraid to respond to reviews online. HIPAA, HIPAA, HIPAA. I hear you. And guess what? We have an entire webinar just on that topic because we know how important it is. We know how tricky it is. And we brought in an expert to go into great depth for you to help you feel comfortable and safe in responding to online reviews. You can do it. It is possible. I can provide that webinar to you via reviews@caring.com. Now, I teased you a little bit a few slides ago that for our partners, we have some special services, particularly for those who aren't comfortable online. We offer a inbound phone line that seniors and their family members can call to speak to a review collection agent. This is brand new. This is industry leading. We're launching it this week, and we've always collected reviews by phone from individuals we help through our senior care services. So we have phone conversations with seniors and their family members regularly, and in that process we've collected reviews. But now we're also going to allow our partners to give out a toll-free phone number to their customers to call us to give a review. Real excited about that. And we even produce some Review Us on Caring handouts for our partners to promote getting reviews on Caring. So for those of you that are partnered with us, look for that. For those of you who aren't, please consider signing up so that you can get access to that program, particularly important for those seniors who aren't online, and it's not offered on sites like Google and Yelp. And then another thing real quick, oh, sorry, Peter, did you want to add something?
Well, I just wanted to chime in and say, you know, for a lot of folks, especially in the skilled nursing spaces, you know, assisted living has been doing this for a while, and you know, independent living and other non-medical areas. But for a lot of people in the medical space, what's interesting is that if you're not actively pursuing positive reviews, They don't generally come in, right? Positive reviews, uh, a lot of people don't bother. I hate to say it, it's human nature, right? We don't tend to give positive feedback as much as we should. What we do tend to get more of is negative feedback, right? And so, Denise, speak to a little bit, if you've gotten a couple negative reviews, or maybe not even totally negative, but not 5 stars, right? Um, what do you do about that? How do you compensate for that? And how do these tools actually help to, let's say I'm sitting out there and I've got one or two that aren't thoroughly positive, right? What do I do? Am I sunk?
Yeah, no, you're not sunk. And actually, I'm glad you brought this up because there is a misperception that the main motivation that causes consumers to post online reviews is to slander the business they're reviewing. But actually, we've done studies on this for over a decade, and there's been other studies by third parties. And the most common motivator for family caregivers and seniors to post senior care reviews online is to help others just like them. So, but Peter's right. They're busy, they're stressed out. So you do have to ask them to go online to share their positive feedback. And most will do it when you frame it as you're helping other families find your stellar services too. Now, if the person who's motivated to post a negative review goes online, and it's on caring.com, we do allow negative reviews. However, we don't allow factual errors. We don't allow your employees or competitors to post reviews on your listing. And we have a process for contesting reviews. There's a whole section of an annual webinar I do on best practices for dealing with negative feedback. Don't panic is number one. There are options for you. Contact Reviews at Caring. I can send you the link to the annual reviews webinar that goes into great depth about best practices for handling negative feedback online. But Peter's right. Get positive reviews to outweigh the negative feedback, and consider this. It has also been studied that consumers are more likely to believe your positive reviews when they see a negative review. If they only see positive reviews, they might suspect that they're fake. So when you have negative feedback, they recognize you're not perfect. And sometimes the negative feedback reflects more poorly on the reviewer than it does your business, especially when you post an exceptional response. So don't panic. There are strategies for dealing with it. And our phone review program, we tend to see higher quality, very positive reviews because you're only giving the phone number to those folks who are happy with your services. You've done that initial screening. You've identified those folks who you have a high level of confidence are going to give you a 5-star review. And same thing with our partner portal. It's a reviews generator tool that does outreach for you via email using a template we know is extremely effective. So thank you for bringing that up, Peter. Now, quickly, I know we're running out of time, so I want to quickly cover a few more things, and that is our Caring Stars Award. This was the first of its kind in our senior care industry. There is a high bar to qualify. It's all around reviews. This is not Caring picking its favorites. This is Caring identifying the listings that have the most reviews, the best reviews, and the business has taken the time to respond to every negative review that is published on the listing. Every year, we unfortunately have to disqualify businesses who didn't do that extra step of responding to those negative reviews. Super important. And Caring Stars generates a lot of great content, positive buzz, counters some of that negative media coverage Peter talked about by creating positive media coverage. There are excellent nursing homes out there. Listen to what their current customers are saying. And we've measured the impact on it. Caring Stars can really dramatically boost inquiries and move-ins for those communities or nursing homes that are partnered with us versus those who aren't. Okay, now, like Peter, I'm going to ask you, um, what do your online reviews look like? Have you spent enough time working to get and manage your online reviews? What is Mary going to think of your nursing home after visiting your caring.com profile and reading your current reviews? Peter's going to take you through a bit of more information, but I really encourage you to reach out and ask questions about reviews at caring.com. Get help. Focus on this area of your business. It's really impactful for occupancy.
Excellent, Denise. So step number one, build an enhanced listing, right? Control your listing. All across the net, you're listed in a basic way in lots of places. Caring.com and our associated websites are certainly one of those places. It's not just us. You need to control your listings everywhere. And that means partnering with us to enhance your listing. Second thing is, with an enhanced listing, manage your reviews. Again, if you just sort of neglect it, let it sit by the side, you're at the mercy of negative reviews or not. Maybe you luck out, you get a couple positive ones, but it really doesn't reach that bar that Denise was talking about, where people look for at least 4, 5, 6, 7 reviews, right? They want to read 7 reviews before they proceed forward. And so the bottom line is that you want to make sure that you at least have a volume of reviews for people to see, and you want to do whatever you can, build a campaign for soliciting positive reviews. Now, the one final thing that I'll say here is that we do get some pushback a little bit in that people say, well, okay, so what about if I increase my visibility online and I've got all these great reviews, is that going to overwhelm my switchboard, right? Am I going to get all sorts of calls, some of which I don't even want? We all know that not everybody searching for nursing home needs a nursing home, because a lot of people in society are simply ignorant about the different definitions we have within the industry. So they don't know skilled nursing from assisted living and such and such. So if we'll go to the next screen here, one of the final things, and I'm not going to spend much time on it here, is one of the final benefits that we offer is that we will actually screen those inquiries for you. We get tens of thousands, literally close to 100,000 inquiries every single month. 40% of them are not what we would deem to be valid, meaning they're not, people that are in an acute situation where they need care now, or they're not willing to engage, or there are any number of vendors trying to get a hold of and sell you something, that kind of thing, right? We also know that out of the ones that are valid inquiries, that only a small percentage of them are appropriate for skilled nursing, because a lot of people just don't understand the definitions. They don't understand what they're looking for. They use the term skilled nursing for everything, right? They think, well, mom needs to go to a nursing home, and turns out she doesn't need nursing care at all. So with that in mind, the big concern is we're not set up to take all the calls that an increased internet presence and reputation might create. And that's where the final benefit here that we offer our clients comes in that we actually have a team of people that will help screen that. If we go to the next slide here, we have a team of call screeners and then family advisors. The call screeners screen out the obvious inappropriate calls, right, or inquiries. Our family advisors spend time with people advising them on what the different definitions are, what skilled nursing is versus assisted living versus independent living versus any number of other terms that get tossed around in the industry by consumers without knowing. If Mary's calling and saying mom needs a nursing home, but turns out she doesn't need nursing care at all, then certainly that's not one that we want to burden you with. So the bottom line is we educate consumers and we screen calls so that you wind up with the inquiries that you want. And I know a lot of folks have said, well, we don't want to buy leads, that's illegal. And our answer is no, you're not. You're simply getting the inquiries that people are genuinely looking for you. We don't charge for leads. It's not a service we charge for at all. So it's a huge benefit, because that's the one pushback that some people in the industry have said. I don't want all this attention. I don't want all this traffic necessarily burdening us with calls that we don't want. And so the beautiful thing about our program is that we actually screen the calls for you. And so with that, let's, in summarizing, how do you get yourself in this transient market of people having many different options and looking for different opportunities, and how do we maintain our senses, prevent people from moving away from us when they shouldn't be, and get more people coming to us? Well, we need to enhance our listings in the caring.com directory and other directories, frankly. You need to build an online reviews and online reputation management program, and we certainly have the tools for you to do that. And then get some help with call and inquiry screening, which we can do for you as well. So let me give you, the final, I guess, here's the sales pitch in it all. What is it worth? A quick breakdown of costs across the internet. If you were to do online listings and advertising, most people will charge you a couple $100 a month just to be on their site, just to have a listing there. We don't. Reviews and online reputation management, I've seen companies charging as much as $795, $1,000 a month, right? Certainly $500 and up is the general fare out there. We don't charge that. And then professional call screening, there you can pay a ton of money for that. We don't charge that at all. But the value is certainly there. It's $20,000 or more. We have a very simple, straightforward offer, and that is that if you will partner with us, again, we are expanding this area of our directory as we speak. We've had a couple hundred partners up till now, but we're looking to expand this because of the increased traffic we're getting and tremendous traffic in nursing care. So we will do this for $100 a month on a discounted rate for the time being, meaning that we'll grandfather you in if you decide to move forward with us now, or you can do an annual contract and we'll give you a couple months free, and it's $1,000 a year. So very straightforward. We invite you to participate with us and to become an enhanced partner of ours to get the tools for all of the tools that Denise described, the extra tools for our partners for managing your online reputation, managing your listing, and we will help you with the rest of it. So that's our offer, that's our sales pitch, and we hope that you take advantage of it. Regardless, we hope that you take a lot of these things from it. I guess here's the ultimate question, right? Are you willing to spend a little bit of time and $100 a month to enhance your online presence, to build your online reputation, and to get some help, screening that inquiry flow that would come from doing that? If so, our phone number is on screen. You need to talk to one of our account executives, or you can email sales@caring.com. Same effect. It'll get to our account executives and they'll be able to answer questions and help you with that. And we will answer questions here as well. So Denise, let's go to questions here and Q&A. We'll get as many in as we can.
Okay, one key question we got, and I'm glad this was asked, was if they are a continuing care community and they're already partnered with caring.com for independent living, assisted living, how do they get the skilled added?
Excellent question. So we can add that again for the simple subscription fee if you're not already subscribed there. But in most cases we have not been. We have done if you've had that as part of your contract, which many of our clients have, but other clients, if you're not in our skilled nursing, simply call one of our sales executives on the numbers that I put up on screen a moment ago, and we will help you add that to your existing contract. Again, because in assisted living, it's a different contractual arrangement. Obviously, we charge based on move-in fees and things like that. We don't do that in skilled nursing for obvious reasons, for legalities, and so it's simply an inexpensive, straight monthly subscription. And we're happy to help you put you in that category as well, to make sure that your nursing care is showing up in that category when people do search there.
And that's a great point. One of the questions was, do they have to have just one listing for a CCRC, or could they have the skilled nursing as a separate listing?
Yes, you can. So, and that's important because of descriptions and amenities and things like that, right? If your description currently for your CCRC or for your assisted living portion of your business or your memory care portion or whatever, if that description does not actually describe your nursing care, right, then we can split that off and you can have separate listings with separate descriptions and amenities lists and pictures even, right? In other words, you don't have to put the same pictures in for your the nursing side of your business as you do for the assisted living side.
And just to reiterate and clarify, the assisted living contracts are different than the skilled nursing contracts.
Yep.
Okay, great. And then we had a question about inquiries. If the individual references that they pay with Medicaid, how does Caring handle that?
So it depends on how you handle that. So if they have inquired about your facility directly and you do not take Medicaid, if you're private pay only or Medicare only, the bottom line is that we will screen those out. If you do take some Medicaid and you want to indicate that, then we will pass through to you those forms and those people that have filled out forms requesting information on what you do. We're not perfect at it because families aren't perfect at it. A lot of times Mary will call and she's not quite even sure of the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. So we educate, we ask questions, but by and large, we screen out Medicaid unless you specifically told us that that's what you do, and we put that on your listing.
Okay, great. And then there was a question about reviews that I'd like to take, and it is
Yep.
how to ask for reviews on your social media pages.
Sure.
And I'm thinking Facebook here is your most appropriate place for reaching your consumer audience. It is the most popular with baby boomers and even seniors. In fact, the younger folks are fleeing from Facebook for that very reason. So one thing to keep in mind about Facebook and your Facebook page is that nowadays you often have to pay for exposure, that you're not getting as wide of exposure on the free posts, and anyone can see your public facing posts on Facebook. So when you put out a solicitation for reviews there, you can be opening yourself up to negative reviews. So one thing I recommend, two things I recommend, if you've earned the Caring Stars Award, use the social meme we've given you to promote that you're award winning. Positive, there's been studies on this. Positive reviews attract more positive reviews. So when you publicize that you're award winning based on reviews, others are likely to go add their pause. They are reminded about the quality services you provided for their loved one, and they want to join the crowd in promoting you as well. Okay. You can also share excerpts of reviews with a link to the listing as another way to politely ask and promote that you're delivering excellent service and to review you on Caring. Now, I recommend you do targeted campaigns to your happy customers who you already have pre-screened and identified, and using the tools that we talked about here. But there are ways through social media, and this is a whole area in our annual reviews webinar where I even give you a sample email that you can send to your happy customers to ask for those reviews. The partner portal tool does that for you. We already optimized the language there, but I have lots of other ideas. So contact reviews at Caring. And those of you who are asking about specific costs and such, let me just go right back to the skilled nursing offer just real quick. This is the pricing for the skilled nursing contract. It is entirely different than an assisted living contract. So Peter's team can follow up with you about details on assisted living contracts, but this is for the skilled nursing offer for those of you that were asking about specific pricing. We are at the top of the hour, and I hate to cut us off, but we are available to answer more questions. I just want to quickly summarize the key points of our session today and make sure you walk away with the important information we want you to know. Peter covered that there's a shift in how consumers are finding your skilled nursing facility, and how you're represented online can really help determine your occupancy success. Your profiles and directories are easily found by a high volume of consumers searching online and can be even more important than your website. And I covered how online reviews are really helping you attract and convert new customers. They're super influential. Peter talked about a valuable subscription package we have just for skilled nursing to help you optimize your digital marketing. We have contact information, sales at Caring. If you want to learn more, you want to sign up for that offer that Peter has extended to you, we have an industry blog with lots of information, and that is where we're going to put the recording and slides for this session too, if you have others on your team. And then I've also talked about reviews at Caring. I also want you to know that we want your feedback. So at the end of this session, you're going to be prompted to give some feedback on how we did, what you liked about the webinar, what you'd suggest for future webinars. I hope you will take the time to share your feedback and will contact us directly if you don't have time to take the quick survey. Peter, do you have any final words you'd like to share?
No, simply to reiterate the importance of it. We know that we've all been pushed a little bit or a lot because of recent pandemic issues, and it's caused us to rethink and change. But I just want to reiterate that even after this is over, this is a long-term demographic trend that can you imagine when your Gen X or millennial friends or children or people are the ones that are taking care of their parents? How do they currently behave in terms of buying decisions? Do they do everything that the doctor tells them, or do they go online and research it? And I think every one of us will say, no, they go online, and that will continue. And so the question is, what do we appear as online? Are we placing ourselves in the right places for that group of people, which is here already, but is increasing over time? Are we ready for them? And that's what this is all about. Ask yourself that question is the central question in this whole thing.
Great. Thank you so much, Peter, for taking the time today. And thank you to everyone who participated, asked questions, and listened to what we had to share. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much, and we look forward to connecting with you further.
Thanks, everyone.